Okay, sensor is now open. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my lens and expose the sensor. Buenos Dias and welcome back to my channel, everybody. So today, on today's episode of the Buenos Dias vlog, really guys, what we're gonna do today is a little different than what I've done on this channel before. I'm gonna do a little tutorial because I am learning as a photographer, and what I've noticed on a lot of my most recent shots, especially my videos in photography up in Lake Arrowhead, I had a lot of little spots in my shots. And typically these spots, the ones that you will see, and I researched this a little bit, you'll see these more at the closed apertures, you know, like 8 and above, or maybe somewhere around there, but you won't see them at the 1.2s and the 2.8s. What you're going to end up seeing is some spots if your sensor is dirty. Now, it just might be that you have some dust in there. And if we can get rid of those dust particles, all this is gonna take a little bit of forced air with the sensor open, but being very careful not to damage the sensor. And that's what most photographers are worried about. I was actually in a photography shop yesterday, and the guy told me, who works behind the counter, he just doesn't do it because, one, he doesn't want to learn how to do it because then he's gonna have to actually do it in the shop. And I get it, it's nerve-wracking. The sensor is a very small, thin strip and can be damaged very easily. So good luck to me today, but hopefully I won't have to wet clean the sensor. That means taking a wet swab and kind of brushing it back and forth across the sensor. I'm gonna try to stay away from that. What I'm gonna try to do today, so let me tell you what I'm gonna use today. Here's everything that I purchased for the cleaning of my lens and my sensor today. So this is a simple cleaning kit. You can probably get some of these pieces that I bought a little bit less expensive online or what have you. But what is in this kit? This is mostly a lens cleaning kit. So essentially, or cleaning of the body of your camera kit. So everything you see here is mostly gonna be used outside on the outside or the external part of your camera. You're not gonna use any part of this for the sensor except for, that would be this little rocket air bulb. So all it does is just, I think it's the same one that you use for the nose to get the snot out of it, that kind of thing, you know what I mean. But anyways, I bought this specifically to blow into the sensor a little bit and see if I can get those dust particles out of the way. And yeah, hopefully that takes care of it. If that does not work out, what I'm gonna do is use the wet cleaning method, and that is to take this little swab for my sensor size. I'm cleaning a Canon 70D today, and this cleaning fluid, optic cleaning fluid. It might only take one pass, but you know, hopefully I don't even have to do this. What I paid for this in the store was $10.95. This was a couple bucks. I think let's just call it $3 or $4. So we're at what, $15 there. And this kit cost me 20 bucks. That's $35 that I've invested, and that's exactly what they were charging to clean the sensors. This is gonna be a throwaway, so I'm gonna have to spend another 4 bucks if I ever need to clean my sensor. But you don't have to clean your sensor all that often. If you are in very dusty or environments that cause a lot of dust particles to be pushed up into the air while you're changing your lenses out, then more than likely you probably need to do this once to twice a month in terms of just maybe blowing it out. However, this wet cleaning, when you start to get spotting on there that will not go away by utilizing this little rocket bulb, then you gotta go to the wet cleaning. So we're gonna try to stay away from this, and hopefully this does the trick. So what I did earlier, and what's recommended just to verify that you have spots so that you can shoot the same thing over after you clean it to kind of compare them. I have my camera settings at an ISO 100, f/18, and about 1/6 of a second of a shutter speed. That doesn't necessarily matter too much. What you want to do is you want to take a shot with a little bit of movement, so move your camera. We're not looking for really good quality here, or we're not really concerned too much with grain. We really just want to pick up the spots in the actual image, and it's best to do it against something that's white. I have a white glass table. Actually, in the preview, without even having to take the SD card out, I can see some of the spots that I'm talking about. But let's go ahead and put this into the computer where you can actually see them a little better anyways. Okay, so as you can see, we have this image inside of Photoshop right now, and I just want to show you, look, I'm taking the cursor and I'm putting around some of the spots that you can see that's on my sensor, and I need to blow those out of there. And hopefully they're just spots that I can, again, blow out and do not have to go to the liquid or wet cleaning method. I'm a little scared about that, but I'm prepared to go for it very gently and very intentionally. So I'm prepared if I have to, but let's try this first. So on your camera specifically, you're gonna wanna go to the menu, and you're gonna wanna go to the area where it says sensor cleaning, somewhere where you can access the manual cleaning of your sensor. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the sensor cleaning area of my camera. I have auto cleaning, clean now, or clean manually. So I wanna click on clean manually. Okay, so now the mirror will lock up once I click OK, and you don't need to turn off your camera, leave it on. And make sure that you have a full battery for this when you're doing this, because you don't want it to lock back into place after unlocking the mirror and have something stuck in there, especially if you're wet cleaning. You don't want that to happen at all. Okay, sensor is now open. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my lens and expose the sensor. Best that you're in a place that has a low volume of dust. So what I am doing, I have looked at various tutorials and blog posts and articles just so I knew the exact steps of what to take for my camera. Make sure you do that for your camera before you go out and do this on your own. Again, I take zero responsibility for you doing it, but I do empower you to do it if you do have the skills and or wherewithal to try this yourself, and not just to save yourself a little money, but to also learn and empower yourself. So anyways, that's what I'm doing, but I'm only doing step one here. Once I go ahead and take the camera lens off, I'm gonna face the LCD screen to the ceiling, and I'm gonna face the sensor down to the table. I'm gonna pop a few of these air blows into it, carefully making sure that I'm not touching that sensor. So imperative that that's what happens. All right, here we go. I'll go ahead and replace the lens. I'm gonna turn off the camera so it closes the sensor. So now we're good to go. I'm gonna turn the camera back on. I'm gonna go ahead and take another test image now, and hopefully those spots are gone and I don't need to do anything further. So let's give it a go. As much as I'd like to say that that was successful, I do still see some spots on the sensor. You can see one there and here. Try the rocket blower one more time, but if that comes out the same, then I'm gonna have to go to the wet method. And take another test shot. Hey, much better. I'm just wanting it to be totally clean, but I am still seeing some spots, especially on that left side over here. You know, I am pretty happy with the way it looks. I don't see the obvious spots anymore. I'm leaning, right this second, I'm leaning towards not doing this. It's something I didn't want to do, but it's something I did want to do. So, but that shows you that your sensor can be dirty with just some dust and some dust particles, and this is all it takes to clean a good 90-95% of it. I just feel like I am being nitpicky here, but I'm all, So if you can see, let me put this on the computer. Okay, so at first glance, you can't really tell if you just look at the whole image. But if you go on this left-hand top corner and we zoom in a little bit, you can really see these spots. And I really think that those are spots that are specifically not as easily cleaned by a little dust blower. I'm gonna try one more time. There's a couple right in here. I may have to go to the wet cleaning method. All right, I need a timeout. All right, the reality is I just need a little break, a little mental strength moment. I was actually really hot in here. Since I didn't want the air blowing, which I do have air in my studio, but it pushes air out so powerfully that I didn't want any dust particles going into the sensor, so I've shut it down. So I'm a little hot in here, so needed to get a little cup of water. Once again, we're gonna do everything that we did before to get the sensor open, but what we wanna do, we wanna get the swab out of its package, and we wanna drop a couple drops onto the edge of the swab and do a one pass over the sensor. Swab is ready to go. I'm gonna drop a few drops onto the end. Okay. I'm gonna get into the sensor now. Small problem. Dang it. So they sell these sensors in full frame crop, APS-C, and what other different size sensors there are. And I bought the wrong size. Ah! That's the learning curve. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the photography store. I'm gonna buy a couple more swabs. Well, at least I got in there, but I knew it wasn't working out. So I need a smaller one because you just want one pass straight across. Darn it. All right, guys, we are back. What an adventure. Okay, these are the APS-C correct sized for my sensor on the Canon 70D. This one, I believe, is for a crop sensor. It's a little bit larger, kind of paddle on the end, a little bit wider. Doesn't fit in there. So that one's wasted. And then there's even a larger one for a crop sensor. So let's get going. Got the right one. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go through the whole process again without touching the end of the swab. We're gonna put about 2 or 3 drops just on the end there. Put the swab inside the sensor there and just gently with the moist side down, go ahead and slide it in there. So just do it very gently. You want contact and slide it across the bottom. That's it. Did it. Felt pretty good about that. I did not jam the swab in there. I just gently made contact with the sensor, brushed it one time across. That's all you need. In certain cases, you might want to use the other side of the swab. I didn't in this case. If I need to do it again, I'll just use another swab. That's why I bought 2. Let's go ahead and test the image. Okay, I produced a shot. So still in the left top right quadrant, there is still some spots there, and it's not something that I want to do more brashly. I just think I'm going to do it again and see what happens. If not, I may have to take it in for a professional cleaning. All right, all done with the other swab. So I actually swabbed it twice. Hopefully that does the trick. I'm out of swab, so I'm not going to do it again. Yeah, no, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots that I can't, they're still there. Yeah, I'm willing to pay 35 bucks just to see what the difference is when they do it. A little disappointed, but you know what? That was worth it. I felt good about it. I knew that I had to be real cautious around the sensor. Yeah, a little disappointing. So it's a half win. The blower did work in terms of taking a lot of the big stuff. I had this big black dot that was appearing. That's gone. Initial cleaning with this did really well. It's just the caked on little spots that I can't get rid of. I guess to be continued on this, but thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something today as far as at least trying something new. I don't necessarily recommend it, but I do recommend it. I mean, if you're confident in your skills, and I think it's important to know your camera inside and out. And again, this is part of my learning process, and I wanted to share that with you. So hopefully someday you muster up some courage and try the sensor, or not, or send it out to get clean for a few bucks. That's all I got for you. Remember, always sprinkle a little bit of fun in your life. And when you're having that fun, remember to always keep it fun enough. Until the next one, outro, bing!